My name's Mike, and I have a problem. I just bought another motorcycle, this time from Harley Davidson's biggest competitor. Now you might be thinking that it's going to be an Indian, or maybe a Honda, but those are not the biggest competitor Harley Davidson has to new bike sales. Harley Davidson has said for years, the biggest competitor they have when trying to sell a new Harley Davidson to someone is a used Harley Davidson. Now let's be honest, most people that come in looking to buy a new Harley Davidson already know they're expensive and they know they want one. So if they can't afford one, if the financing doesn't work out, whatever the situation is, what are they going to look for most likely? Well, probably not another new bike from a different brand when they can simply step over here. Let me show you this used 5-year-old touring motorcycle we can get you into for a lower payment. Or maybe it's a 5-year-old Softail. They used to use the Sportster as an entry bike, buy it, trade it in within 12 months and get all your money back, but that program's long dead. This is why Harley Davidson created the HD1 marketplace. It's where they can advertise used bikes online across a network of dealers. Some are certified, some are not, but they've created their own motorcycle online used bike shopping place. So if the dealership doesn't have something there, it's easy for them to find something at another dealership and keep people inside that Harley dealer network. I really noticed Harley Davidson dealers buying used bikes off the market from individuals a lot more about 3 years ago. That's when this push came to get people from a new Harley to a used Harley inside the dealership and not from individual sales if that person couldn't afford the financing on a new Harley. This creates a two-sided coin for the used Harley Davidson market. If you're a seller, it's great because you can get a higher value for your used Harley Davidsons because the values have gone up since dealerships have been selling more of them at a higher price as well. But as a buyer, it's more difficult to find a good deal on a used Harley Davidson. So yes, I bought a used Harley Davidson. Now you may be wondering, did I buy another touring bike or something else? And my answer would be, yes. Well, kind of. So it's not a touring model, but I want to see if I can do some touring on it. I know a lot of people when they get older decide they want to tour on something lighter. And people have gone to the Lowrider ST, which seems to be a perfect platform on the Softail models to tour off of. I've seen people put tour packs on the back of them and everything else already. And they've got side bags and they're about 120 pounds lighter than a full-blown Street Glide even without a tour pack. So it makes a good option for someone who feels the need to get to a lighter, smaller bike, but yet still be able to tour comfortably on. And it's not just about the weight of the touring model. My Street Glide is about 120 pounds heavier than my wife's Sport Glide, but it's about the balance as well. I have a lot more top-end weight with that fairing and stuff than she does on the Sport Glide. And the bike and the balance just feels different. She's a lot more comfortable on her Sport Glide than she is on my touring bike. And I know some people are going to say, well, it's really, you can't really tour on a Softail. Well, you absolutely can. She has put 3,000 miles on in 10 days on that Sport Glide, packed all of her own luggage. I didn't haul anything for her. We went to Sturgis and back and she rocked it. Through all the same weather as everybody else who was riding touring bikes. 4 years ago, a friend of mine rode a Dyna from, I think, Alabama all the way to Sturgis and back. It can be done on a smaller bike. It may not be quite as comfortable for some people. And let's be honest, that thing is kind of a heavy-ass hog when I just want to go back and forth to work 20 miles a day. I do it, but it's more bike than I need for simply commuting to work and back. It is a touring bike, and I have it set up for touring. So I decided a smaller, lighter bike that I could ride back and forth to work, do day trips on, and maybe even do some light touring like riding it to Arkansas or Oklahoma was really more what I was interested in. So when I got the opportunity to buy a bike that I could ride back and forth to work, do day trips on, and I think I can set it up where I can do some light touring, like trips to Arkansas and Oklahoma. So I snatched up the deal. If you've been watching the channel before, you've seen this 2000 Dyna for a while now. It's the 2000 Dyna that we bought in 2017 for my girlfriend, who is now my wife. This was her first motorcycle, and she loves the purple color on this bike. So she had to have it. But what she found after she got it and rode it for a while was that it didn't fit her real well. She wasn't super confident in it. It rode rough. It didn't handle great in her opinion. And so she just didn't ride it a lot, maybe 1,000 miles a year. Well, we kept looking, and she kept doing test rides on other new bikes at demo events, and she found she really loved the Sport Glide. So when Harley Davidson announced that they were no longer going to sell the Sport Glide in the United States, we were able to find a great deal on a used one through Pig Trail Harley Davidson, and she bought that last year. When she bought it, it came with the trunk already on it, and that was last February. She's put about 15,000 miles on that Sport Glide. So that's such a big difference over this bike. It just handles so much better. We knew by the end of the riding season that that was the bike for her. So this winter, we tore it down and got it painted purple, her favorite color. And to be honest, she just doesn't ride this at all anymore. She still loves the idea of this bike, but she knew she wasn't going to ride it. So she decided that she was going to sell it rather than just letting it sit in the garage and go to waste. Now, we talked about selling it on Marketplace, even to a couple of friends. And I decided I really wanted it, because I wanted a carbureted, older Harley Davidson that was lighter, that I could ride back and forth to work, do day trips on, things like that. And I soon discovered after riding it this summer, after I bought it a few months ago, that it does ride really rough. My back tells me every time we cross over a set of railroad tracks. What I've discovered is someone put slam shocks on it. Factory suspension on this motorcycle should be about 13 inches eye to eye. And here we have 11 inches. No wonder my back hurts when I ride this thing. One of the reasons I really wanted this Dyna Super Glide Sport is the adjustable front suspension. Notice there's adjustment here. Now, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's adjustment here at the top of the fork tubes as well. Some people believe that this adjustable cartridge front forks on the Harley Davidson Super Glide Sports were the best front suspension Harley Davidson ever created from the factory. In 2000, this came with a twin cam 88, which is what's still in it, which put out about 68 horsepower and 79 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. Now, I'm not a big fan of the look of the Mustang seat that's on it, so I might try and find myself something a little more sportier, like the Saddleman step-up seat, or maybe the San Diego custom seat from Saddleman. Now you can see this has short shot Vance & Hines exhaust on it, and I'm pretty sure this motorcycle has a cam in it. Wait till you hear it run. Nothing sounds better than a carbureted Harley with a cam and short exhaust, in my opinion. Man, it sounds good though, doesn't it? You can see the vibration in the engine. It's gonna feel like I'm riding an older Harley Davidson, that's for sure. And like I said, this rear suspension has gotta go. I haven't decided what I'm gonna put on the back yet though, but I definitely want probably a 13 or 14 inch shock with adjustability for rebound and dampening. So if any of you guys are riding a Dyna out there that you've done some aftermarket shocks on, let me know what you like that fits that bill. Legends and Progressive are obvious choices, but maybe there's something else out there that I haven't considered. This winter, I'm planning on taking the front cartridges out and at least putting new fluid in them, maybe seeing if they need to be rebuilt. But the first thing I gotta do is get some new tires on it. We bought this bike in 2017, and these tires were on the bike when we bought it. If it's only got 23,000 some miles on it now, I don't think these are the factory tires, but they do have Harley Davidson on them. So I'm sure they were replaced with Harley Davidson OEM style tires. The front tire leaks air, so they're not wore out, but they're aged pretty good. I don't know exactly what the age is. I'm gonna try and find the date on the tires. I'm sure you guys all know how to look at the date on a tire and see how old it is, right? When I pull these off in a video, we'll check the date on them. I've already ordered new Dunlop American Elites for this, and they came in today. I also went ahead and ordered brakes and wheel bearings. And if I don't need those, then I'll just have them for when I do, because I'm planning on keeping this bike for a while. In fact, I'd like to do a lot of day trips and maybe some touring on it next year. Take it to Arkansas, Oklahoma. I don't know that we're gonna take it to Sturgis next year, but if I get it all set up and get all the things I want done to it, you never know, that could be a possibility. Now these handlebars are not bad, but they may have to go. And that's because I would really like to put a Clockworks FXRP style fairing on the front of this. What do you guys think about those fairings? But if I put one of those on the front of it, it'll give me more wind protection, protection from the cold if I'm riding in the winter, and it would give me the option to have audio on the bike as well. Now I think that would make the bike set up pretty well for touring. Throw a tall sissy bar on it. I've got a rear seat bag that'll strap up to that. And I think I could take this thing on several days touring across the country. I mean, what do you think they did back in 2000 when this bike was new? People only took them on day trips? Of course people traveled across the country on them. And with 23,000 miles, I think I could put a lot of miles on this bike still. Now, if I do that FXRP style fairing, I am gonna have to get taller risers and probably T-bars or something like that. I don't think these will fit between the FXRP fairing. Maybe they will with some risers, but they're probably not going to in the factory configuration. And if I go with risers and these bars, I'm gonna have to change the cables. If I go with risers and T-bars, I might get away with keeping the factory cables that are on here now. Man, I just can't get over that sound. Do you guys think that thing's got a cam in it the way it loped? It sure sounds like it to me. All right, guys. Well, that's my new motorcycle. It's not my newest motorcycle. I actually had one delivered while we were recording this video. But that's another story. If y'all like this video, give it a big thumbs up, share it out with all your friends. Y'all stay safe and keep on riding. We'll see you in the next one.